Hey friends, it's your boy Matt Donald here to let you know once again that I have a Patreon at patreon.com/Matthew Donald. There you'll find bonus content for the Ritwit and Paleobites, my two podcasts, my two little podcasts that could. For the bonus Paleobites content, we're discussing pop culture featuring prehistoric animals, and this month we're talking about Dinosaur King, a video game turned anime, turned card game. It's basically Pokemon but with dinosaurs. It's great stuff. Link is in the description for where you can sign up to the Patreon. Thank you for your support and have a wonderful day.
Roar, growl, snarl, bellow.
Welcome to Paleobites, the podcast with the ferociousness of T-Rex, the kindness of Stegosaurus, the validity of Apatosaurus, and the intelligence of Troodon. I misread my script. The ferociousness of Apatosaurus, the kindness of T-Rex, the validity of Troodon, and the intelligence of Stegosaurus.
That's a good combo. Can we,
My name is Matthew Dahl, and each week I and a rotating series of guest co-hosts talk about and rate a genus of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. This week I'm joined by the still overlord of dinosaurs. He successfully fought off that challenger.
Yep. He came in and he didn't even put up much of a fight.
He just one punch and he's out.
Yeah, exactly. Not quite one punch man, but I used
one and a half punch man. Well, you get punched and then a kick.
I used some of that super power flower stuff and
oh yeah, the super power flower.
super power flower.
flower.
Yep. It was good though. It actually got a lot of views on YouTube. We didn't televise it because we figured the YouTube's kind of the way to go in the future.
Right. Exactly. Oh, your name's Lawrence Mack. Hi, Lawrence.
Hi, how's it going? All hail the Overlord.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Oh, sure you're worthy. Just keep out for another 8 hours. You'll get there.
Okay. Oh, man, it's hot in here.
I'm kidding. I see your glasses are all fogging up.
Yeah, well, that's just because I have a mask on. We're recording this in this fancy studio.
Yeah, very fancy. It has the sound boxes, the
computers,
echo and everything.
Look at this thing. What is this machine here? I don't know what it's doing.
Right.
Should I just press all these buttons, see what happens?
Yeah, absolutely. Dinosaurs didn't have machines. We just eat one of those.
Yeah. What if I actually press one of those and it all goes to hell and it's like deleting?
Right, deletes the whole thing.
Yeah, not even just mine. Like everyone's podcast that uses the studio. It's just gone.
Just gone forever. Shuts down the whole thing, erases everything.
Right.
All the software.
Right.
Is that a light? I can't imagine how hot it would be in here if the light was on.
I don't know. There's also a phone, so we can call. Apparently, you can use Skype in this thing too. Record from people from far away. Seems a bit too technical for me.
I mean, technology is the future, I guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to touch it with a 10-foot pole. But.
Yeah, I know. I like technology. I like the future. I'm not exactly a dinosaur in the other sense of the word.
Right. I like to try and embrace it, but make it a little easy for me. I'm not a coder.
Yeah. Some of these new social media apps, I'm just like, well, what is TikTok?
Oh man, I love TikTok.
You do? What is TikTok? It? I have no idea what it is. Isn't it like Vine but slightly longer?
Yeah, you can make videos just as short as Vine. I don't know if you know Thomas Sanders. He was a big Vine person. He's on TikTok now, and he does a lot of the same stuff he was doing before.
Right.
But yeah, TikTok is basically just the new version of Vine. There's even TikToks about I'm just here for the Vine energy.
Okay, so I guess the dinosaur-like question for this week then is, if you could bring a dinosaur to TikTok, why? And which one?
Maybe
and how?
The Stegosaurus.
A Stegosaurus.
That's
well, behold, it's a Stegosaurus.
So that's actually a TikTok.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Stegosaurus. It's also Tyrannosaurus Rex. Velociraptor.
So there's this. I don't remember who it was or whatnot. It's a sound. A lot of people use it.
Sorry, I'm gonna keep going.
And he names 3 or 4 different ones, It starts always out about like he was in a museum and the person points out a T-Rex. Is like, I know what a T-Rex is, and that's a Stegosaurus, and there's a Velociraptor.
It's fun just to add mud around things. Like
Yeah.
I'm on the computer mature.
We're making podcasts.
Am I on the internet?
Wish my internet worked.
Yeah, there's a coronavirus. That's a way to make it funny. Oh, these hundreds of thousands of people died. Coronavirus.
Yeah, put that on.
Yeah, I shouldn't jest. Dark humor, guys.
Right? Yeah, we're pretty dark in here.
Okay.
Actually, one of my favorite TikTokers does some really crazy dark humor.
Oh, really?
It's terrifying. It starts to go one way, and you're like, "Is she finally making a serious TikTok?" Nope. There's a bad pun in it, and
Okay. Well, I saw this picture on TV tropes. This is one of my favorite things of dark humor. The trope was homicide machine, and the picture they used was a little kitten inside a blender.
Oh,
The blender wasn't turned on. He was just
Right.
he was just
Yeah.
sitting in there. It was a real photograph too, and it's like
what?
he was just hiding in there. He thought it was cozy. It's like, please don't press that button.
Right? Hopefully that thing's unplugged.
But I just saw that picture. I couldn't help but laugh.
Right. Cats like kittens like to get everywhere.
It's like, little does he know.
Cats probably will fight it off.
Yeah, cats are spawns of Satan, anyways. Wait,
Yeah,
did I say that out
exactly.
loud? No.
Probably wouldn't even affect them. Like, I'm already.
You just make them stronger. All right. Well, speaking of nothing that we just said, we're talking about Styracosaurus. Styracosaurus. It means spiked lizard.
Spiked lizard. Nice.
It means spiked lizard.
Spiked
Lizard.
Spiked lizard.
Spiked lizard.
Lizard. Yeah, there we go.
I'm just gonna do this all the time now.
Yep, that's gonna be the whole episode, guys. If you don't like it,
It's a type of
Just get to the end.
centrosaurine, ceratopsian. Okay, I can't. Ceratopsian. Centrosaurine ceratopsian. Size 16 to 18 feet / 5.7 meters long, 2 to 3 tons. Diet was a herbivore.
it ate plants.
Diet Late Cretaceous. 76 to 75 billion years ago. Location Alberta, Canada.
Oh no, Canada.
Canada.
So you know the joke about how they named Canada?
They're like Canada. What?
Yeah,
No.
they
What
had,
is it again?
They had 3 guys, and they're like, we need to name this country. We're gonna name it. And they're like, oh well, we'll pull some names out of a hat, eh? I was like, okay. C, eh? I will pulls out N, eh? So pulls out a D, eh? And then they left out the there was a 4th person there, and in the middle after N-A, they picked out M-A, but the Canada did not sound good, so they just killed the guy who said M-A.
I love Canadian humor.
Right? Isn't that great?
Yeah, like, I just think it's so great. Like, one day Canada will take over the world, and then we'll all be sorry.
And a lot nicer.
Yeah, it's like, if it was kept in Canada, it wouldn't be civil war, it'd be civil discussion.
Yep, exactly.
I'm sorry, but I can't do it with these accords. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah, no, I mean, go ahead and take that land. I don't need it.
Wasn't there a battle in Canada where these guys tried to bring their troops in via train in Canada?
That would not surprise me.
And they're just like, wait a minute, they know exactly where this is going because it's on a train track.
Oh my goodness. We're not crossing any bridges here, are we, guys?
We're just burning some bridges at this point. All right, so Styracosaurus described in 1913, pop culture appearances, Disney's Dinosaur, The Good Dinosaur, the Pixar movie that I never saw. But
I haven't seen that one either. It's on my list. I heard it was good, actually.
I've heard it was okay.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't really have much desire to see it. I don't know why. You'd think I would.
Right. It's not like the animation stuff. I think we probably talked about it on here before.
Yeah, like they look way too cartoony.
Yeah, but the backgrounds and the scenery was all very super realistic.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And that was my
looking.
problem with it. Like, it's like, why didn't you make it like no, I guess you want to don't want to necessarily have it look too much like the dinosaur movie.
Right, but still.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
I always wanted them to make a sequel to that. That'd be cool.
It was successful. I don't know why they wouldn't have.
Right? They make sequels to everything else. It's Disney.
They're going to make a live-action remake of Dinosaur, even that was already basically that.
Right, yeah, that was really darn close to live action anyway. It was the spiritual predecessor to this new Lion King.
You know what I don't get? The new Lion King, okay, I know everyone says, oh, it's actually, they say it's a live-action Lion King, but it's entirely animated, right? So, but it's still called live action. It's not considered an animated film. Dinosaur, which came out 20 years before that, it's considered an animated film, but it actually used real backgrounds. Like, they filmed those places on location.
Yeah, they just added in the dinosaurs, right?
So that's more live action than Lion King.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to call one live action, you got to call the other one live action.
Right.
At the very least.
Well, and also, like, if one of them is going to be live action, it's that one. If the other one is animated, like, why is Dinosaur called the cartoon and the live action Lion King is the live action Lion King?
Right.
I don't get it.
There should be, like, a middle kind of thing where it's like it's obviously animated, but it's so realistic it looks live action. Because, I mean, it looks like it could be
photorealism. It's a style. It's like there's surrealism, there's photorealism, there's cartoonism. Cartoonimism.
Is there a skinomism? Schism?
Schism.
Schismism?
Schismism. Prism. It's all the colors.
Right. A prismism.
Prismism. It was also in Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, Jurassic World Evolution, Zoo Tycoon Dinosaur Digs, objectively the best installment of the Zoo Tycoon series.
Nice. Obviously. 10 out of 5 stars.
Alright, so the Styracosaurus, this spiky boy, was a favorite among those who wanted to feature a horned dinosaur, but Triceratops is just too cliche of a pick.
Right. Yeah, you look at Triceratops. It's like a Triceratops is cool. It's classic.
Yeah, it's a
why would you ever pick Triceratops over how is that pronounced again?
Styracosaurus.
Styracosaurus. I kept getting the "muh" in there.
I was gonna say Styracosaurus. Styracosaurus.
It totally threw me for a loop, but I forgot how to pronounce it.
Okay, think of a pigsty. Think of a big rock.
Oh, Styracosaurus. Okay.
Oh, think of an O. And think of
a donut. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And think of a saurus, like a dinosaurus.
The dinosaurus. All them dinosauruses out there.
Oh wait, that big rack is a tennis rack, by the way. Get your mind out of the gutter. Everyone.
Yeah, come on, guys.
I expected better from you.
I thought we were talking about a deer rack.
All right, I was like a big rack of stuff on a shelf, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In my hoard.
All right, so Styracosaurus is number 2 in the list of most famous ceratopsians, and honestly, number 2 isn't a bad place to be. Just ask all the coprolites. Ah, got him.
What is it, coprolites or coprolomelites?
Some of these are harder than others.
Right, oh, I know.
Anyway, Styracosaurus had 4 to 6 long spikes extending from its neck frill, in addition to a single horn from its nose. Based on other finds, the number and arrangements of these spikes varied depending on the individual. Some had the lower 2 spikes in a more curved formation, while others had broader spikes, others had long spikes. Interesting. A lot of variance in the single species.
I was going to say, they didn't try to rename them or didn't try to make them different species, basically.
Yeah, you hear that, Jack Horner?
Yeah.
Why don't you think those are different species?
Come on, man.
Actually, he thought that Triceratops, one of the things he did that was just like clearly trying to be controversial and just trying to throw a stick in the mud of paleontology or whatever, is just trying to keep it. Anyways, he was like, no, Triceratops isn't valid. It's actually a subadult Torosaurus. He's trying to get rid of Triceratops.
Is he just trying to get rid of all the smaller dinosaurs? I mean,
he's just trying to ruin everyone's fun.
If anything is smaller than another dinosaur, it instantly must be the juvenile.
Well, not only that, the scientific naming, it dictates that the one that was discovered first, that's the one that gets priority if you're absorbing a species. Torosaurus was discovered after Triceratops, so it would really be that Torosaurus is just an older Triceratops.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than, but he's like, hey, what are you going to do with that? Jack Horner's full of crap.
Yeah.
He's my nemesis on this show.
Wow.
Nah, I'm sure he's a very nice man.
Elevated. You finally have a nemesis. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Jekima Horner. I'm sure listeners are very annoyed.
Oh,
by
yeah.
this.
Well, what listeners? They've all tuned out by now. Sorry if anybody's still listening.
So, unlike Triceratops, Styracosaurus had no horns on its brow, which only a certain number of ceratopsians had anyways. Since all these ceratopsians have very different horn arrangements, the prevailing theory is that they were not used predominantly for defense, but for display, like during a mating season or for intimidating rivals.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it makes sense. I mean, those are super intricate. It's got to be.
Have you ever heard of Regaliceratops?
It sounds familiar.
It's like one that it doesn't have spikes on its frill. It has like knobs that kind of like this, so it looks like kind of like a crown.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Regaliceratops. Regali means like throne or crown.
Regal kind
Like
of.
regal, yeah. So
Interesting.
there's one that's called Medusaceratops.
Really?
Yeah, and it has like the spikes are kind of like sway, kind of like so they look like kind of snakes. So. And it could turn you to stone, I get right now.
Oh, wow.
There's a dinosaur called Gargoyleosaurus. That's a real dinosaur, but it was just a victim of Medusaceratops.
I was going to say, yeah, it was just a victim, right? now, if we can, there was a way to reverse engineer Medusa's spell, right?
Yeah.
Can't we reverse engineer that on Gargoyleosaurus?
Yeah. What do we have to do? You put the castle like above the clouds. What was the show? Remember the show Gargoyles?
Yeah. I keep meaning to watch this on Disney Plus now.
Oh, that's right. It is. Do you know Kevin Feige has said if he was ever going to do another Disney property and adapt it, it would be Gargoyles.
That's awesome. I know people have talked about wanting to do one live action Gargoyles or something.
Add it to the list.
Right? The ever-growing list of 8 billion things.
I read they're actually going to do a live-action Black Cauldron. That's when you know they've scraped the bottom of but that was their biggest flop.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a flop as live action, do Treasure Planet or Atlantis, for God's sakes. The ones that people want.
Atlantis was a flop?
Unfortunately, yes.
Really?
It came out like the same time as Shrek, and Shrek just appealed more to families than because Atlantis was kind of violent and.
They even made a sequel to Atlantis.
Yeah, it was originally going to be a series, but those were those were 3 episodes that they condensed together into one movie, and they just released it. So.
Leonard Nimoy voiced the.
I know Leonard Nimoy.
King.
Yeah, he was the king. Cree Summer was the princess. James Gardner was the villain. Michael J. Fox was the hero. The hero. Who else? Jim Varney was the cook. Voice of Slinky and himself and Ernest from Ernest Saves Christmas.
Nice.
I don't know anyone else in that movie though. That's all. Literally everyone I know from it.
Nice. That's I really just knew Leonard Nimoy. I was like,
Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy.
Lemonard Nimoy. He already has an M in the middle of his name, so it makes it. Nimoy.
Right, yeah. It's like when I tried to do that with Lizard at the beginning. Lizard.
Lizard.
Something like that.
So, due to the well-documented remains of ceratopsians around the world and across time, we have a pretty good idea of the evolutionary path of Styracosaurus. The Pokemon style evolved into this, evolved into that.
Nice.
It started with Yinglong, the first ceratopsian, which is actually known from the Jurassic.
Interesting.
Although technically it started back with the inception of life itself back in the Precambrian. Let's simplify
I
this.
mean, how far back do you really want to go?
Which over time left its home in China and crossed the Bering Strait into North America, evolving into Zuniceratops.
I've heard that one.
The first ceratopsian with brow horns.
Mm-hmm.
Then into Styracosaurus, which was then further evolved into other centrosaurine ceratopsians like Aneosaurus, Achelosaurus, and Pachyrhinosaurus, another one from Dinosaur.
Nice.
Side note, I actually first learned of Achelosaurus. Here, you can see how it's pronounced right there. It's like down there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I first learned of it from the RTS game Paraworld.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've shown you Paraworld before.
Yeah, I actually bought it, but it didn't work on my computer for some reason.
No, you have it's old, and you have to like kind of do some workarounds to make it.
Yeah.
It's such a fun game though. But there's in one of the mission, the campaign, there's a herd of them around your starting base.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, there's an Achelosaurus in an RTS game. That game was great.
Nice.
There's all these obscure dinosaurs in there. There's a tower that you can build that just fires sorties, which is a little pterodactyl, and it fires them at your enemies.
That's awesome.
Oh, that game is great.
Nice. This is a fire dinosaur. Shoot me out of a cannon.
Keneman, a sort of Medis, Archaeolumosaurus, Pachymarinosaurus. we gotta put a stop to this before it goes too far.
I think it's already there.
Paleomobites.
Should just put that in the title for this one.
Styracosaurus. They would hate that.
Oh, yeah.
God.
It'd be like, what exactly happened here?
But yeah, I love it when things like that do obscure dinosaur species. That's so cool.
That's really cool. It's nice kind of like shout out, and then
Yeah.
people who are actually really into into dinosaurs and everything.
That's
they
why
recognize them.
I've loved when Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom used Sinoceratops. Like that's such an
Yeah.
obscure one to use, but they did it, and I was like, cool.
Right. Exactly. They do a few of those. I know State Malik is kind of a little bit.
That was
more-
actually also in
more known,
Dinosaur
but-
briefly, but
Hmm?
that was also in Dinosaur briefly.
State Malik?
Yeah.
Really?
You didn't really see it too well, but it was.
It was like one of those, like little background running
Yeah,
around
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. It's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that movie used a lot of obscure ones. It didn't use any of the basic ones. It didn't use Triceratops. It used Styracosaurus and Pachyrhinosaurus. It didn't use Apatosaurus. It used Brachiosaurus.
Yeah.
It didn't use Parasaurolophus. Oh, it did use Parasaurolophus in the background. But
Yeah.
It used Iguanodon. You know,
Right. Yeah.
It
Exactly.
didn't use T-Rex. It used Carnotaurus. you know?
Yeah. Right. Did it have? What were the? Were they just velociraptors? Is that
I
what
think they were
called
just.
them?
They never said what type of raptors they were, so they probably like.
Oh
drew 'em.
yeah, they just called them raptors.
Yeah, I don't even think they called them raptors. I think the promotional material just called them raptors. But
Yeah, I think that's right. They're like, we don't want to get messed up in this. They look cool. They look like what you think a raptor looks like. I'm just gonna call it a raptor.
Yep, exactly. They actually were going to add feathers to it originally, but they didn't have the. That was too expensive for back then to add
Too
feathers.
expensive to add feathers. Come on, that's
Yeah,
an
there's more texture than scales.
atrocity.
Oh, you're a little bit late for that one.
Right. Hopefully that comes out first so people get this joke.
All right, well now we're at everyone's favorite part of the show. Maybe I don't know. We're right there on 1 out of 65 million for whatever reason we like.
Oh.
This is, I think,
Yeah, it's got some sexy curves.
yeah, it's got some good
Yeah,
spikes.
yeah.
It's real horny, right?
Or is it horn-me?
Oh God, nope, no more! I'm putting my foot down.
No, I'm pretty sure it's all in the chair right there.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Oh,
There, I put
we
my
go.
foot down. There we go.
I guess I'm done. Done.
Yes, you are done.
Yeah.
You like that? You fizzled out. You went out with a wet fart rather than
Yeah,
going
exactly.
out high. Yeah.
It just not finished on a strong note there.
All right, so I'm gonna rate it. Let's see. I'm gonna rate it like 45 million. I mean, it's a classic. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I was gonna go a little higher. I was gonna say like 55.
Oh wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I like.
It gets Alberta points, I guess.
Yeah, I like it, and obviously, since I'm an old lady at heart, having it be an old lady in the dinosaur movie,
Yeah, it's
kind of
true.
it connected, it resonated
You
with
had
me.
a kindred spirit. With
Yeah,
that one.
exactly. Like I feel like we could, us two and the Brachiosaurus could sit down and watch Golden Girls together.
You know, the one in Dinosaur, the Styracosaurus specifically, reminded me of my grandmother. Not the other long neck one. That one didn't remind me of grandmother. Just the Styracosaurus because she was feisty like my grandmother.
Oh yeah,
Like-
yeah. Kind of got that little kick to her.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
So that's pretty cool. Yep, that's it for this week. If you want to contact the show, you can contact me at mattd@matthewdonaldcreator.com. You can find me on social media at MatthewDonaldCreator on Facebook, MatthewDon64 on Twitter, and MatthewDon64 on Instagram.
Now who's fizzling out like a wet famart?
If you're interested in writing, if you want to listen to another podcast with me for some reason,
Twitmarit.
it's the Ritwit, where two twits talk about writting. It's real twits here. Not this twit, but I mean you not me twit, not you twit, Lawrence.
I'm a different type of twit.
Me twit, you twit, Tarzan. Okay. What?
My fingers just. That was weird.
It's the ghost.
It's the ghost. It's controlling me. Get out, demon. You've been expelled.
Yeah, do an exorcism.
Exorcism.
All right. Well, for some reason you want to read a book by me after hearing all this. Guess what? I've got one.
There are
I've
no
got
random muzz in this
It's
book.
called Megazoic.
The extended edition
Yeah.
is Megamezoic.
Megazoic, available for print and Kindle. 4 books, actually. It's part of a series. Yeah, it's dinosaur sci-fi. It's pretty cool. There is no mud jokes in it. So
Sadly.
I'd think happily at this point.
Yeah, right. People like anything. I'll go read that just to get this mud crap out of my head.
Well, that's it for this week. As we say at the end of every episode of Paleobites, that's true.
Bye.